Hey everyone, it's Tira with Rent Mason Bees. Today I'm going to teach you how to make 3 types of mud holes for your mason bees. As you know, mason bees need to have a clean source of mud, so you don't want to use pesticides, slug bait, or any chemicals in your yard or garden, because that mama mason bee is going to use this clean mud and she's going to grab it with her mandibles. She's going to take it into her nesting chamber. She's going to cap that nesting chamber with mud. She's going to go out and sprinkle pollen all over her body and then go in and make a pollen loaf and then lay an egg and then cap another piece of mud at the end of it. So you'll have mud, pollen, baby, mud, mud, pollen, baby, mud, all the way through. So what happens is when you use chemicals or anything in your yard that gets into this mud, natural mud in your yard or your clay, it's going to harm and kill the developing little bee. Oh, I hear it, I hear a bee. It's almost spring, we're getting close here. So anyways, today I want to come on 3 different ways. I'm going to show you 2 new ones. One, we're going to dig a 1-foot hole and do a vertical. So it's going to be 1 foot wide and 1 foot deep. Vertical holes is what we use in our orchards and our crops when we are out at the farms. It's a really easy way for farmers to keep that wet, especially if you don't have a lot of water source. That hole can be easily watered from the sprinklers in your yard. The second way is to use a container. So I get asked all the time, can I put my mud in a pot off the ground? I don't want to dig a hole in my ground. Well, no, they won't naturally instinctually see a pot and go into it. But you could do this method where you have a very flat, shallow, I just bought this, it's a couple bucks at the dollar store. I poked holes in it because you don't want to have it be a clay bath. You want to make sure the water drains. And then what you can do is you can bury this in the ground at ground level, so it looks like it's part of the ground, and then put your clay mixture in here. And then the third way is if you have a larger space and you want to do like a 2 foot by 1 foot circle diameter on the ground, I'll show you how to do that as well. So if you can see down here, I made it as even as I could to the surface of the ground. And now you're just going to take your clay. You're going to want to put this anywhere from 5 to 10 feet away from your mason bee house. My house is over there. So you're just going to sprinkle the clay into the container and you're going to water it. And then this is where you can have some fun with the kids or for yourself. You just want to mix it all up. Mix it up so it gets sticky clay. Now that I have my mud stirred, I purposely wanted to do this with my hands. It's messy, you don't have to do this. But what mason bees need is they need that sticky, tacky clay that forms into like a snowball when they're using it for their nest. This is a little bit wet. It's kind of fun, but it's wet. But see how if you look down here, it's a little bit wet. So I want to add some more clay to this concoction like that. And then I'll just mix it up. Oh, mix it up even more. So now we're getting there. Now we're getting it. See how sticky it is? The bees love this clay. This is what they use to make their nesting chambers. So I'll keep adding a little more consistency and mixing it up, but this is essentially how you make a flat surface clay hole for your bees. Now that I did have to play with the consistency of the mud in order to get it really tacky. So if you look down here, you can see that it is now like a perfect consistency for your mason bees. So before I did this other hole I wanted to show you, I went in ahead of time and I dug the vertical hole to make sure I found a spot. A couple other places I tried was a little hard, but this is the vertical hole, which goes straight down. It's not quite a foot, but it's big enough. And so this vertical hole is now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sprinkle your clay into this hole. You're going to want to water it, just a little bit of water. And in this type of hole, you're going to mix it into the sides of your dirt that you have in here. And usually it'll take a whole bag of clay, and you're going to want to pull it up the sides of the hole. And you'll see your mason bees, they will crawl into this hole and they'll go up the sides and they'll get the clay all throughout this hole. When we do this in the farms and the orchards, you'll be able to see in this vertical hole because a lot of the farms and orchards is dusty dirt, and so the mason bees love this type of hole. So that is 2 ways of making a mason bee mud hole. One with the flat surface, flat against the dirt, and then one with a vertical hole straight down. And then I'm going to show you a video that I just did a couple years ago doing a more of a larger space. And those are 3 ways of making mud holes for your mason bees. But down here I've already dug a hole. It needs to, and then all you do is you take your clay bag, you open it up, and you sprinkle it around the hole like this. It's dusty, it's a bit messy, which again is fun for the kids to play with. So I've used almost all of it, but just do it like that. And then you take a watering can and you just get it damp and wet, and you mix it all together. Then I have a knife here. The main thing with your clay that you provide for your mason bees is you need to keep it damp. It can't get dried out in the summertime. So if you live in a really hot climate, you want to make sure that it stays damp. And again, that's a great job for a kid to do. Just go water the mud, stir it with the stick. Kids love to do that kind of stuff. But that's it. So that's what you're going to provide for your mason bee, just a mud hole. And check out our other videos that we've done down below. I'll do all sorts of links, and give us a call if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.